And we're live. Good morning, everyone. Starting this a little early, just a minute or so, just to make sure that everything works. So yeah, let's see. For those of you watching after the fact, this is Paper Wranglin 8. I've been doing this for about 2 months now. I'm enjoying this. I think I'm gonna continue on. And again, this kind of freeform style thing, just because I want to sort of force myself to fold a little more. So I'm gonna let Facebook and YouTube kind of catch up with me here, and then I will make sure that I can see all the comments and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll get too many viewers, but if I do, awesome. I want to be able to actually chat with them. Yeah, I started this video series because I realized I wasn't doing much folding in my free time, and I wanted to change that. So here we are. And I'm doing Tuesday mornings because I'm a bit of a masochist. I go to a bar every Monday night and sing Irish sea shanties and folk music. Not in a band, but I sing along with the band, and usually I'm there folding paper. So on Mondays, I'll fold paper at the bar, and then that'll kind of inspire whatever comes out of this thing on Tuesday morning. So this is what I folded at the bar last night. And yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. This isn't going to be the actual topic of this video. I think I'm going to do the wave thing, which I think will be a little more interesting. But I do want to touch upon this because this is kind of cool. Maybe this will be a future video. Let me refresh the pages. That was last week's. There we go. Okay, I'm in my fan page now, and my regular page now, and I don't see myself on YouTube. I really wish, I need to figure out how to get OBS to show me the comments, but for now, this works. This is a Watermom-based tessellation. I didn't finish it last night at the bar. I just finished it actually like 10 minutes ago. I had a little strip here of things, but they're basically little peaks that are formed by, you can see the backside, these squares, and three of the edges are pushed in, and so you get 2 squares back to back like that. And 3 of the edges, there's one shared edge that doesn't get manipulated at all, that stays straight, and the other 3 kind of purse in. And you get that in pairs, so you get a pair here, pair here, pair here, pair here, and that creates the entire pattern. So flatten that out, and you can see a little better what I'm talking about. There's 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, and then you have these floors, these little square shapes, and those make the platforms in the back. Back up again. Crumble, crumble, crumble. Good enough. You get the idea. These square floors are the kind of the areas of the paper that are surrounded by what I've taken to calling Watermom bases, or modified Watermom bases. This is actually a Watermom base, which is a traditional form. There's a traditional piece that's a traditional model that you fold up, you fill it with water, you throw it at somebody, it explodes. It's great fun. But the base that's formed to make it is this. It's kind of triangular piece. And there's some interesting properties. Like I said, maybe a topic of a future paper wrangling. I haven't seen somebody do this pattern where you have 2, then 2, then 2, then 2. It's not completely original because I'm following the progression of the math. I would be surprised if no one's done it before, but I just haven't seen it. So if you are watching this after the fact and know of someone who's done a pattern that looks kind of like this, where you have every other rotating opposite directions. So this one's rotating counterclockwise, that one's rotating clockwise, counterclock. Let me know. I'd be interested. See what other people are out there studying this kind of these kind of weird patterns. But that's not what I called you here to talk about. This is another corrugation, kind of like what I've done in some of the other paper wrangling videos. It's kind of simple to look at. The pattern is just this kind of star-shaped thing, and then there's kind of not concentric, but well, yeah. Actually, I guess the definition, the center of each of these is it goes down. So if we're calling the center of each of these weird polygons where the angle bisectors intersect, then I guess they would be concentric, but they're offset. They're not. It's not parallel lines going into the center. It's it's an AB pattern. You have one line, you have a second line, third line that's parallel to the first one, fourth one that's parallel to the second one, and it goes in a stair-step pattern. What that does is it creates a wave effect. It kind of, instead of, here, I'll show you what I mean. So imagine I have parallel creases, say I fall to 8ths or 16ths, something like that. Here's an 8ths grid, or an 8ths division, I suppose. And I'm not going to back crease this, there's no need to. I can just, if I go like this, it goes, if you look at it from the side, up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way. And the down is equal to the up. So as this thing folds flat, there's no movement this direction. It's all just this way. There's no kind of vector other than just straight across. However, if I did, for example, straight up and down, then an angle, and straight up and down, then an angle, then suddenly you get something quite different. I'll show you what I mean. That's about parallel. That was some inaccurate fold. There we go. That's a little better. Now we've got the AB pattern, and I'll actually start to collapse it into form, and you can see the rotation starting already. Something akin to that. And if you look at it from the side, it's no longer going straight across like that, it curls like this. And that's based on whatever the difference of angle is. So I kind of folded this inaccurately, so I lost some of the curve, mostly on this side. But if you have an AB pattern that's consistent throughout, AB pattern that's consistent throughout, you have your A here, B here, A here, B here, A here, B here. Then the amount of curve, the amount of kind of going off of that plane that you're going to have is equal to twice whatever that angle is. So these would eventually intersect way out here. You imagine an angle, you double it. And the reason you double it is what's happening here is the amount of paper that's moving, or that's remaining after the, I'll actually highlight this a little better with a larger angle, something like this. So this angle should illustrate better, assuming I can draw straight lines. That's better. I can fold straight lines easily enough, but drawing not so much. What happens is you have here a single layer of paper, and that's this polygon right there. That's one layer of paper, and then here, where I'm pushing down, feeling where this thing is. This is also one layer of paper, and this is 3 layers of paper. If I were to puncture this with a pin, it would go through, it would make 3 holes, and it would make it, to be reflections over these lines. But if I were to count this in the folded state, the amount of kind of area loss, I'd be triple counting. So I only want to count one of these 3 regions, and let's do this one, for example. What that means is that our area loss, or the paper loss from this maneuver, is equal to this stuff. All the stuff colored green is the shape of our final piece. If I want to cut this out and then glue these 2 edges together, I can do that. And all this extra stuff is equal to twice that theta angle, because this line here is a reflection of this line over that line. So if I want to, for example, rotate this 10 degrees, 10 degrees off of this, then I have to create 2 creases that are 5 degrees away from each other. So, and I can continue doing that. I can do 10 degrees, I can do another 10 degrees, another 10 degrees, and I can keep rotating it until I get a polygon or a spiral. If it goes beyond 360 degrees, then I can keep spiraling it up. I have to figure out a layer order, but that's basically what's going into this. So what you have here is you have an angle here between we'll call this the second line. This will be the first line. Actually, no, let's offset it. We have line 0. Crease 0 is the base here, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm looking at is this triangle, this big triangle here, because the same thing is going to replicate in all the other triangles that go through the whole thing. So my thought is, well, if we fold this up and it curls, you can see how it curls inward like that. It's a very slight effect, but you can still see that curling effect. what's the limit of that? Could we actually get a wave? It seems it's pretty self-evident that we can get a wave of sorts. I've studied this in the past a little bit. I haven't really done a deep dive into that. So I think it'll be interesting to actually fold a wave pattern. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, let's do that. Okay, grab some paper. Let's go over one of these concepts here. So I talked about parallel lines and then offset parallel lines. So you have an AB pattern, which creates that wave. You can really do that with anything, any even number of creases. So you could have an AB pattern, or you could have an A, B, C, D pattern that repeats, or A, B, C, D, E, F that repeats, as long as the net angle, once you hit the end of an iteration, is, well, that's how much area loss. You double that angle. In this case, we'll just keep it simple. We'll just do an AB pattern. And let's start with a very steep angle, like a shark's fin, kind of. Maybe something like, so something like this. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so this is going to be our kind of intersection, the thing that we're working on, and this is going to curl like that. This particular arrangement of creases probably isn't going to work. We're going to have to get this to be sort of oscillating around the vertex. So the largest angle is going to be what's called an iso facet, surrounded by two mountain folds, or if you flip it on the other side, it's two valley folds. And the other ones are going to be anto, because it's going to oscillate between mountain and valley, and that allows it to close up fully. Okay, so let's just start with this. This will be the first crease. That'll be our crease 0. That's not really that interesting, but that's okay. So what this is going to do is allow us to sink like that, and you get a kind of kite sink, which is kind of neato. I'm gonna unsink this just so that I can work with it more. But now the memory's in the paper. All right, I'm gonna go grab a ruler real quick. Unless I have one. I don't have one in arm's reach. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So, first off, I want lines that are in this section that are parallel to this crease 0. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Now, the further away these things are, here's our initial border. The further away these things are, the greater angle I can have this way. So maybe that's something I want to work with. Let's do quarters. I think that'll be something. So I want to get equal divisions of quarters this way. Easiest way to do that is to fold through this point to hit this at 90 degrees. Eyeball that. All right, like that. I'm just pinching. I want the full line here. So that's that, and then I'm going to fold from that point to that point, and only through this section, because I only want that to go here. It's okay if it goes a little over. There's number 2 by folding from the back edge to that 1/2 point, that 1/2 mark that creates the 1/4, and then to the same tune I can replicate this over here to create another 1/4 from the other side. There. Okay, so there's my parallels. Now I need, I'll just draw on this to accentuate it. Now I need diagonals, or some angled thing. So that's going to be something like that. And because this isn't the polygons, so these trapezoids between the parallel creases, because they're changing, not all the diagonals are going to be parallel to each other, but they will be between the creases. And furthermore, because I'm using the largest triangle here, there's no risk of these kind of self-intersecting before they travel around the vertex. So these are going to bounce around and then come back and hit their origin. And if they don't do that, then I have problems. So I chose the largest amount for them to travel before they bounce. I don't know if that made sense. Sorry, guys. It's all good. There's the next one, a little lower than I would have liked, and then for the last one, I'm just kind of eyeballing. That's fine. Use a different color for the bees. Find a different color for the bees. Ew. Yeah, I guess, well, it's still right. Yeah, actually that writes pretty well. It's just an ugly pencil. It's a poor sharpening job. Okay, so I'm gonna back crease these purple lines and start reflecting. And you'll see a wave pattern, just like we did before. It's not going to be too intense. It'll be more intense than this, but it's not going to be that dramatic. So that. Yep, I zoned a transition this. Damn it. So, one thing I forgot was that as you reflect these things, I have to be wary of the ever-present zone of transition. So I'm going to start this over. This is supposed to hit like that, so that the acute angles are on the outside of this line. It's supposed to oscillate mountain valley, or up down, or in out in this case. Well, shit. All right, let me try this again. This time, I'm not going to mess it up. And I'm not going to be doing as much talking. I think that was the issue. There we go. So, something like that. And then for the next one, something like that. Oh, that's a wee better. There's our crease 0. Right. And then our crease 1 is that. And I'm just going to do the one section in there. Okay, try this again. I'm just going to get an eyeball parallel. Good enough. And then another parallel. Good enough. And steep angle. And then lastly, steep angle. Okay, that should be better. So that's going to rotate around. I'll sync this. Working on the purple one, which is secondary collapse crease 1, secondary collapse crease 2, goes like this. And secondary collapse crease 3 goes like this. And 4. And lastly, 5, this little dinky one. Yeah, lost some accuracy in the middle there, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, so I'm gonna do greens as mountain folds and purples as valleys, and I'll do do them in pairs like that, just because it's a little easier that way. And lastly, Again, not a very intense wave effect. There's a lot more that can be done. So I'm gonna take this to a larger sheet. Go slice up some elephant hide. I have some. Yeah, here we go. There's some elephant hide. Just half a sheet of this, and let's do a really steep angle, because I should be able to get a lot more out of that than I can from this this little dinky triangle here. Basically, the more acute the triangle is going into the center, the more stuff I have to work with. I'll show you how that works. So let's start really steep like this. Something like that. Then have that. Have that. And do these. So basically I'm trying to cram as much as I can into one little sliver here. Also, I don't know if you can hear that. They're doing some construction outside. Hopefully that's not hopefully they're not picking that up on the video. If they are, sorry guys. Let's go one more. Let's go to this. Okay, there we go. So degree, what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. A degree 16 vertex. So super complex. Not really, I mean, that's that kind of thing happens in Oregon all the time. But I have to make sure that all of these intersect at the right point. I'm trying to keep them from getting, off. But this is going to be a complicated fold, just by grace of, there's going to be so many reflection points. But I think it'll be interesting. Here we go. Here's my little cone of a sorts. Actually, this is, ice cream. Or a crepe, maybe? Yeah, little fillings coming out. Or carrot, I don't know. Stylized carrot. So I purposely kept these two a little larger than the other triangles so that this can all fold up inside. Here's the thing. If I try to fold through all layers, things get ridiculous. This is way too much. So I'm just going to visualize where I want it, which is I want to fold from like that point to somewhere left of that line. So I want to fold from down here to somewhere in this region. Because if I fold to the right of that, that's where zone of transition stuff happens. So I don't want that. I'm going to do the other direction. I'm going to actually, rather than folding the point to a section, I'm going to fold the section to that point. And I want to kind of visualize where that little piece right there. So I'm basically going to want a line that goes, that's constructed by folding that line to somewhere in this triangle to the left of that line. So if I go the other direction and make sure that this is on the right, something like that, that'll work. Great. And then that extends until it hits that, and then it's going to reflect, and that should create a good syncable corrugation. Now the only zone of transitioning that happens is back here, and that was to be expected. That's the same thing that's happening here around these ISO flaps. Okay, that's our first one. So this is going to be our working triangle. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do something that's parallel to that, and yeah, that's about right. And parallel to that is here-ish. Yep, trying to keep them evenly spaced and not always succeeding. Yeah, that's good. And yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're gonna do diagonals. But the diagonals have to follow the same rule as this, so that has to be. It has to be between that point and that point. Ooh, I actually don't have a lot of room to work here. So, what I can do, let's do some more parallels. Which, by rights, all of these parallels should be perfectly fine. Okay, and now I'll have less steep diagonals, and I'll have more stuff to work with. So that's going to be something like this, maybe. Hopefully, we'll find out. Actually, let me fold this thing up and see if it's actually gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna be too. Okay, something like that, and then we'll do that, that, that. This might end up being a dud, guys, and if it is, that's okay. We'll try again next week. But there's potential here. Okay, we got our base triangle that we're gonna replicate around. So the base triangle basically allows me to replicate anytime it hits a crease, it has to reflect. There's not a lot to do for the first cycle or two because it's so close to the edge. I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So what I mean for that is that's the first cycle. Not much there. The second Is that? Oh, no, it does. It does go through this part as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Good. So this cycles around like that, and then comes like that. Moment of truth. All right, we're good. We're good. No zone of transition. Nothing here. Okay, first one. Not that interesting. This should get more interesting the more I go in. So that's based on this crease, and that crease reflects all the way around. It goes off the paper, but we're assuming these creases go off to infinity, and they keep reflecting as they go. Next one in is this one. This one might be able to get around without going off the paper. We'll see. Might have to bend this a little bit. Nope, it goes right off the paper, just like that. It's okay, we'll keep going until we get to this. So the technique I'm doing here is basically collapsing it one facet at a time and then continuing on the reflections. So collapse, reflect, collapse, reflect. This is hard for new folders. So if you haven't done this kind of folding before, this is a kind of an advanced technique. But I'm trying to do this relatively quickly for the sake of the video, so that you can actually see the end product without waiting around for 2 hours. All right, there's the next one. So I've taken this thing and I've sliced it up to the next step up. Next step up. I don't think this is going to fail. I think this is going to be just fine. Now that I'm looking at it. So the next one up is, well, we had. Do I want to draw on this? Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So the first one we did was that. Then these are all parallel-ish to each other. I say parallel-ish because I just eyeballed them. They're close enough. And then the purple ones are your diagonals. They're add a steep angle to that. Again, these were eyeballed, so they're not going to be absolutely perfect. Cool. There's the base triangle. So I've done the first two. There's also this one, which isn't probably going to amount to much. I'll flip it afterward. So I've done this one and this one. Now I'm on to the third one. I'm not going to monologue for every one of these, but it's good to know the sort of rhythm that I'm going through. This one is quite close to the zone. I might have to bend it a little to get it out. I feel like that's cheating somehow, but it's also, it will be just fine, I think. So this is where a computer program would come in handy to actually be able to calculate whether a reflection line, a secondary collapse crease, is going to hit at some angle that makes it impossible to fold or difficult to fold. I gotta learn Python, guys. The coding language. One of these days. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so there's the third one. Again, this isn't looking that interesting just yet, but I have 3 full cycles of reflection lines. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to do the next one. Keep working my way in, and eventually it's going to get pretty interesting. Just not yet. And it'll get super interesting once I do the actual collapse, and we'll see just how much of an angle of rotation I get out of this. Okay. Next one, I'm very close to actually being fully on the paper. So the next one should do it. Bend this one slightly. I'm back into the zone of transition and things have gone awry. Shit. Come on. Bend. I might have problems with this one. So, that shouldn't present an issue. Why is it? No, it was just, I think that was just poor folding. Yeah, I was just being inaccurate. We're good. We're good. Okay, so now I'm finally actually on the whatever, the weird octagon shape that I have here. It's definitely an irregular octagon because the triangles, the 2 of the triangles are different sizes than the others. But it's close to being a regular octagon. regular-ish. Okay, I had to bend that one quite a bit to keep it from messing up. That's okay. I think this is still going to work as long as it doesn't get worse and worse as I go to the interior. Let's see, next one. I have to be wary of the A lines, which are the green in this case. And I think those are all very, very close to bouncing around and transitioning from one oscillation to the next. So I might have to fake some of those. And it's kind of interesting. So as you're folding reflection lines like this, I used to play trumpet in high school. And I was never any good at it. The one thing I remember was that you could, with some practice, press a certain fingering, but use your mouth to change the pitch, to change the note that you were making. Even though you had particular fingering for one note, you could sort of mouth a different note. That's kind of what's happening here. So if I see a crease that's going in a way I don't want it to go, I can sort of bend it and fake it. And the human eye is probably not going to pick up on it, depending on how neatly I do it. So that's it's a little fudging going on here. All right, next one, making progress. This one's fully enclosed. Now you see the piece actually starting to form. Next one's a green one. Might run into some issues. Yep, and it looks like this is even further away. So I'm gonna keep running into issues as I go further in, and they're gonna keep getting worse and worse. Well, shit. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to save this. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to save this. So I could have saved this if I had folded through all layers when it was collapsed in a cone shape beforehand. So, okay, let's take to the computer and see if I can work out something better. Just open up Inkscape here. Okay, so this is a program, Inkscape. I don't know if I'm going to do this this whole thing right now, but you basically have an octagon like this. With this you know what I should do? I should make a nonagon. and combine two edges like that. There we go. This is going to be my quasi-octagon. That is 2192. Rotate 2192. Okay. So here's my weird octagon. And I want angle bisectors off of this, so that's easy enough to do with straight edge and compass. You just go like this, rotate 90 degrees, and then extend. Do the same thing over here. Make sure the centers are snapped. Same thing over here. And everything's pretty symmetrical except for this area. So once I get half of it, I should be able to replicate it across the this crease here without much of an issue. That should line up exactly great. That is, so that's a 6307. Oh. There we go. Nope, that's not right. I want to rotate this 90 minus 63.07 counterclockwise. That's better. Perfect. Okay, so this should all line up. These are not direct vertices. This doesn't all intersect at a point, which is fine. That doesn't need to happen. So the actual crease pattern for something like this would be, what would this be? This would be reflecting over here like this. My extension's not working. Crap. Might need to re-download that. Okay. So that is that. Duplicate and reflect. Okay, so this is going to come out. Come on. Oh God. All right. Maybe I need to go a little back to basics with this. I'm gonna call it there for now. I'm gonna keep playing around with this, and maybe do a follow up next week. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I've done this wave in the past. It's been a while since I've done it. I'll see if I can find an image. Series. It's a long time ago, so I might have to go back a bit. But I wanted to actually show you what the wave thing looked like. I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. Display capture. There we go. Yeah. something like, something kind of like this. Oh, actually, here's a pretty good example. Come on. Yeah, but that's still not what I'm looking for. Hold on. I participated in a. Actually, this might be on Flickr. Wave corrugation. I haven't used Flickr in a long time. But let's see. Nope. Wave corrugation. Nope, can't find it. That's all right. That's not the end of the world. I'm going to probably call the stream. Oh, did I lose it? There we go. Probably going to call the stream there, and I'm going to keep working on the wave corrugation. Maybe next Monday I'll have figured it out or refresh myself on how exactly to do this better. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Sorry about the dud there, and I'll see you next week around the same time.